In today's video, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite stretches for hamstrings that's also a pretty good calf stretch, and you don't even have to get on the floor to do it. So if you spend a lot of your day sitting with your hips and knees at roughly 90 degrees or right angles, after a while you can start to feel that your hamstrings and calves are getting kind of tight. Now, tight hamstrings and calves can ultimately start pulling on your lower back, making it very difficult, if not impossible, for you to sit up straight with good posture at your desk chair. And that could spell trouble for your lower back. So we need to keep these areas moving and flexible throughout your workday, and the stretch I'm about to show you is going to help you do just that. Now, if you'll stay tuned through the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a second stretch that's going to incorporate a third body part that gets tight and stiff after a long day of sitting at the computer. Now, before I show you the first stretch, the boring disclaimer. So for the first stretch, all you're going to need is your desk chair. Now, if it's on rollers, please go ahead and lock the wheels out. And if you can't lock them out, find a different chair. What we're going to do is face the seat of the chair and put your hands in the seat of the chair. Now, with your hands underneath your shoulders, I want you to walk your feet back, keeping your knees bent until you can get your feet under your hips while lengthening your lower back. So I want your lower back to be really straight. Well, your entire back to be really straight. And make sure your pelvis stays level. So level that I could put a vase of flowers on it and they wouldn't tip over, right? So you've got your hands roughly under your shoulders and your feet under your hips with your knees bent. This is our start position. And then what I want you to do is slowly straighten your knees without losing your spine position. So be sure you're not going into like a rounded back and a tucked tail thing. That's not what I want you to do. Keep the back nice and long and straight and flat, and straighten those knees without losing that position of your pelvis or your spine. Now you're going to hold it there for about 2 seconds, 2 Mississippis, and then allow the knees to bend, to back off the stretch, and then ease back into it again. So you're holding 2 seconds on and then 2 seconds off, maintaining that nice straight spine and level pelvis throughout. Now I want you to practice this about 5 to 10 times depending on how tight you feel, how good the stretch feels to you, and you will probably notice that after some practice, it gets easier. If this was too intense for you in the start position, we can modify it by placing cushions in the seat of the chair or something. You could stack books in the seat of the chair to bring up the position of the torso a little bit. And you can see in this video how that lets off the pressure on the hamstrings and calves a little bit. So you may need to calibrate the height of the seat so that this stretch really suits you and you're able to keep that straight back. Now, obviously, when you bring the height of the torso up, you no longer have a level pelvis, but I want that nice, long, straight back, and the pelvis, the line of the back of the pelvis follows the back. So we just want to keep that nice, straight back, right? Okay, now, before I go on to the second exercise that I promised you, I just want to say, if you find this helpful, if you like this information, please go ahead and click that like button and do share it with friends and family members who you think would really benefit from it. I really appreciate that. Now, on to stretch number 2. For your second stretch, you're going to use your same chair. I just want you to turn it so the chair back is facing you. And what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate a shoulder stretch into our hamstring and calf stretch so that you can get yet another place that gets kind of stiff and tight with a lot of computer work. So to start, place your hands on the back of the chair, and then keeping your knees bent, you're just going to walk your feet back until you can create a straight line from your hands on the chair to the back of your pelvis. So that's really the key, right, is create that straight line. And if it's too much to take your chest all the way down, you can bring the angle of your torso up a little bit, but I want the line from your head to your tail to be straight, right? All right, now from here, what I want you to do is keep that nice straight back and simply straighten the knees. So we're bringing in that hamstring and calf stretch. We're already on the shoulder stretch. We're bringing in the hamstrings and calves without rounding the back or tucking the tail, right? So if you did something like this, then that's no good. That could actually hurt your back, and it's certainly not going to give you longer hamstrings. So nice straight back, you straighten those knees, keeping the head down. You're going to hold the stretch for about 2 Mississippis, and then you're going to bend the knees to release the stretch in the hamstrings, and then bring the torso up to release the stretch in the shoulders. And then once again, after 2 seconds of a break, you're going to take the chest back down to whatever position is comfortable, and then straighten those knees to bring on the hamstring and calf stretch. Holding for 2 Mississippis, and then easing off, bending the knees and bringing the torso up. And I want you to repeat that on-off stretch about 5 to 10 times, just like we did with the first one, until you feel like you're getting more ease out of all 3 areas. Now, if that start position felt like it was too intense for you, you can modify by placing your hands on a wall instead of the seat back. And you can see here that on a wall, you can pick whatever height suits you best. You just want to make sure that you're able to maintain that nice straight line along your spine throughout the exercise. If you find this interesting, if it seems like it's really helping you, then you won't want to miss my free live webinar that I am giving. The website and details are in the description below, so make sure you check that out. All right, until next time, keep moving and be well.